So I was reading this horror story on a forum the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as an EV owner. New to the game, driving home late at night. They had
Hmm.
miscalculated the range, which is a classic rookie mistake.
Right, we have all been there.
Exactly. And the public charger they were banking on was totally vandalized.
Oh, no.
Yeah, screen smashed, cable cut, just totally useless.
That is the nightmare scenario. It is the range anxiety final boss, basically.
Right, and they were just sitting there staring at 2% battery, realizing that unlike a gas car, you can't just walk to a station with a red plastic jerry can.
No, you were effectively bricked at that point.
Exactly. You were waiting for a tow truck, which might not even know how to hook up an EV properly without frying the regenerative braking system. It is a massive mess.
Well, and it highlights the fundamental friction point of the entire industry right now. I mean, we have built the cars, but the infrastructure is still playing catch up.
It is rigid.
Yes, it is incredibly static.
Well, that friction is exactly what we are digging into for today's deep dive. I found a specific entity that claims to be the answer to that exact panic attack.
Okay.
Honestly, a whole lot of other logistical headaches that you might not have even considered. We're looking at a service known as Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions.
And just looking at their digital presence, sacramentomobilecharging.com-I, it seems simple on the surface, right?
Very literal.
Extremely literal, but our mission today is to analyze the implications of that specific service based purely on its name and web presence, because the business model underneath those words is actually a pretty radical shift in how we think about energy distribution.
So let us establish the core facts we are working with here. We know three things for sure from the source. The service is mobile, it involves EV charging, and it is located in Sacramento.
Right.
And I really want to unpack that first word, because at first glance I just thought, okay, AAA for batteries.
A rescue service.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But as I thought about what mobile EV charging actually entails, it felt like there was something much bigger here.
How so?
Well, it feels like the difference between buying a DVD and streaming a movie.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Because one requires you to physically go get the thing, while the other just beams the thing directly to you. It is like food delivery versus going to a restaurant.
That is a great analogy. It is essentially infrastructure as a service.
Infrastructure as a service.
Yeah, and to understand why this concept matters, you have to look at the limitations of our current grid. Right now, if you want to charge a car, you are tethered to a specific geolocation.
Where a high voltage line happens to meet a concrete pad.
Exactly. The old gas station model, we have been doing it for 100 years.
Right, but electricity doesn't actually need to be pumped out of the ground like liquid dinosaur remains.
No, it is ubiquitous. However, high-speed delivery of that electricity is scarce.
Which is the bottleneck.
Exactly. So what a concept like Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions implies is decoupling the charging event from the grid connection point. Instead of the car going to the infrastructure comes to the car.
That is huge for the user.
It changes everything.
Because it implies total freedom from being tethered to specific locations. It essentially eliminates range anxiety altogether.
If the charger can come to you, you are never truly stranded.
So let us move to the second part of their framework. The word solutions.
Plural.
Yes, plural. Why do you think a company would name itself a solution rather than just, a service?
Well, think about it. For a solution to exist, there inherently has to be a problem.
Right. Multiple problems in this case.
Exactly. So we can deduce that Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions exist to address major gaps in the current charging network.
Like the broken chargers I mentioned earlier.
Right, or stations being occupied by other cars, or just simply running out of charge on the side of the highway.
It is the promise of resolving complex logistics for the customer. Not just a quick fix, but an actual resolution to a systemic issue.
And that is where the plural nature of solutions does some heavy lifting. It is not just emergency rescue. What does this imply for regular daily use?
You mean if I just don't feel like driving to find a public charger?
Think about the Garage Orphan.
The Garage Orphan.
It is an industry term for EV owners who live in apartments or condos without dedicated parking.
Oh, well, yeah.
They want an EV, but they have literally nowhere to plug it in overnight. They are entirely reliant on public infrastructure.
Which is a massive hassle. I have a friend who has to drive 3 blocks to a grocery store just to sit there for 40 minutes to top up.
Exactly. Now imagine a mobile charging solution offering a subscription. You park on the street in front of your apartment, you go to sleep. Sometime around 3 in the morning, a van pulls up, tops you off, and leaves.
We wake up with a full tank.
You wake up with a full tank. It democratizes access completely. You no longer need a two-car garage to realistically own an EV.
That is a brilliant solution. It really is like serverless
A
energy.
serverless energy, yes. It removes the capital expenditure of installing a home charger and turns it into a flexible operating expense.
Which makes me think about businesses too. If we are talking about solutions,
Yeah.
plural, B2B has to be a factor here.
Oh, absolutely. Managing a fleet of electric delivery vans is a logistical nightmare.
Because you either spend millions digging up your depot to install fast chargers,
Dealing with permits and trenching,
right, or you pay your drivers to sit at public chargers for an hour a day.
which is dead money. You are paying wages for zero productivity.
So a mobile solution steps in and just charges the fleet overnight while the vans are parked. No infrastructure investment required.
It makes the word solution sound a lot less like marketing fluff and more like a genuine value proposition.
Let us pivot to the local context. Geographic specificity in the name.
Sacramento.
Yes. Why does it matter that this is a localized service?
Right.
Why not just national mobile EV charging?
Because community impact matters. This service caters specifically to the infrastructure needs of the Sacramento area.
Rather than being some generic national concept.
Exactly. Localized services can adapt to the specific topography and urban layout of their region. Sacramento is sprawling, you have endless suburbs, office parks, industrial zones, so the distance between high-speed public chargers can be pretty significant in those outer rings.
Right. The mobile aspect bridges the gap between urban density and suburban sprawl. It acts as the connective tissue for that specific community.
And how does the driver actually access this connective tissue? That brings us to the digital gateway.
The URL.
SacramentoMobileEVCharging.com. It is a bit of a mouthful, but it acts as the critical link between the physical service and the Sacramento driver.
It is the access point. We are moving toward a world where energy is requested, not sought out.
I really like that distinction. Requested, not sought out.
Right now, we seek out fuel. We look for the big sign on the highway. But this website represents the shift to requesting fuel. I am here, bring the power to me.
It turns the driver from a hunter into a customer.
Exactly. And that digital gateway is what enables that psychological shift. So to recap what we've decoded from this source today, we are looking at a mobile charging solution
Right.
built specifically for the Sacramento market.
Yes.
And it is entirely accessible via their digital storefront at SacramentoMobileEVCharging.com.
That is the core of it.
But let us get to the so what of it all. Why should you, as the listener, care about this specific company's model?
Because Sacramento Mobile EV Charging Solutions represents a fundamental modernization of how we think about energy delivery. It is taking something that has always been static and making it dynamic.
It is making the grid flexible.
Exactly. It is a logistics layer sitting on top of the physical city, adapting to where the demand actually is in real time.
Which leaves me with a pretty wild thought.
Say it on me.
If charging is truly becoming mobile,
Yeah.
if the infrastructure can just come to your house or your office whenever you need it,
Yeah.
will the gas station or even the public charging station as a physical destination eventually become completely obsolete?
That is the ultimate question, isn't it? If the power comes to you, why would you ever go to the power?
It makes you look at every corner gas station a little differently.
It really does. It could change the entire landscape of our cities.
Well, that is something for you to mull over next time you're sitting at a public charger. Check out SacramentoMobileEVCharging.com to see this shift in action. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Catch you on the next one.